What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. As we approach the end of Season of the Deep and the beginning of Season 22, players will need to be prepared for that rush to level up and max out the new Season Pass and Artifact as quickly as possible. Whether you're doing it before the season starts or working on it after the fact, bounty farming is the bread and butter of leveling up in Destiny 2, right alongside weekly and seasonal challenges. There's tons of other great benefits that bounty farming provides as well, as this is also one of the best methods to rank up with any of the NPCs, like Drifter, Banshee, Zavala, or Shaxx. Ranking up with these folks is going to give you a ton of upgrade and masterwork materials, along with a ton of engrams. So today we're going over some simple tips and tricks that you can start utilizing to maximize your efforts and reduce the time that you'll have to invest into a mindless grind once Season 22 starts. The first thing I want to talk about is the difference in bounty types. There are 3 different types of bounties: XP, XP Plus, and XP++. XP bounties are typically reserved towards the far right column of any particular vendor, and they can be redone over and over again, but because of that, they provide the least amount of XP. These bounties provide a base amount of 4,000 XP, and with some vendors, these will also provide Bright Dust. Even with the standard XP bounties providing the lowest amount of base experience, these are the easiest to get done, typically only requiring you to be an active participant in whatever activity you're in. Even though the higher bounties are the ones that you want to go after first, these bounties will be the ones that you keep coming back to. You just need to remember to take a break between activities every now and then, that way you can re-up on bounties. And then there's XP Plus. These are typically seen as daily bounties, provided by most every NPC and vendor. XP Plus bounties provide 6,000 XP. These bounties can only be completed once in a day, and they can be completed on all 3 characters, but at daily reset, they do refresh. And finally, XP++. These weekly bounties are reserved with select NPCs, and are found in the far left bounty slots. These bounties provide a whopping 12,000 XP. But these are bounties that you will need to be a bit more attentive towards completing, as you typically have a series of objectives that will need to be completed. These can be acquired by the Star Horse, Petra Venge, Nimbus, Shahhan, Varix, Eris Morn's Lectern, Hawthorne, and Eva Levante when she is at the tower with her seasonal live events. It's worth noting that both Eris Morn and her Lectern offer bounties to those who have the Shadowkeep DLC, but Eris herself does not offer any XP++ bounties. All 3 types of bounties can be completed on all 3 of your characters, but I understand the hesitations at times to change over classes, but it really is worth it to swap over and at least complete the higher ranking weekly bounties. To increase the amount of XP that you'll gain when cashing in these bounties, you will want to be in a fire team if at all possible. Join a random blueberry at the tower if you got to. You'll also need to have the highest possible XP booster applied to your ghost. If you are carrying over bounties from one season to the next, be sure not to cash these in until you have obtained the new seasonal artifact. As you level up through the season pass, there will be several stages that provide XP boosters, which improve the amount of XP earned from any source. As you complete these bounties, you will find that some of them can be completed in unique ways that can make it a lot less time constraining. Like Shahhan's bounties, for example. I hate roaming around the public areas of the Cosmodrome just to be able to complete these, but since many of them can be completed while I'm in Grasp of Avarice, that becomes a much better sounding option. Vanguard bounties have the same appeal. Many of these only require defeating enemies with certain weapons or abilities, and unless the bounty specifically states that it has to be in a Vanguard playlist, then odds are it can be completed anywhere. When you are hitting up those Vanguard playlists, you'll want to do something that many Guardians, even veterans, completely forget about, and that is to hit up all of the different destination NPCs, like Failsafe, Devram K, Shahhan, Bench, or Petra Venge. All of these NPCs offer at least 4 daily bounties that reward XP+, and outside of the ones that require public events or lost sectors, the rest can be completed without much of a thought as you're completing your playlist activities. If you do find yourself hitting up the destinations themselves, I would recommend gravitating towards those public events and lost sectors, where you'll see the thickest population of enemies. Varix offers a rotation of 3 weekly XP++ bounties, which you can pick up on Europa. These send you into each of the 3 different Empire hunts. Each of these requires you to defeat the final boss, and to get precision kills during the Empire hunt itself. You get more credit when doing this on higher difficulties, but odds are your teammates are trying to do the same thing. So what I would recommend doing thing is to load up an Empire hunt by yourself on a higher difficulty if you feel comfortable with it, and then just don't worry about the mission. Go and free roam around Europa. Hit up a public event, go into a lost sector, or just walk around in the open area. You'll still want to watch out because the activity modifiers will still be on, but you're not going to be facing the same level of opponents, and there won't be any champions or other teammates to deal with either, making this a lot easier and a lot faster to complete, at least this portion of these 3 weekly bounties. Shifting over to the Dreaming City, Petrovenge offers a rotation of 6 different weekly bounties, which all reward XP++. These are her Ascendant challenges, isolated activities that you engage with while on the Dreaming City, while under the effects of Queen's Foil tinctures. Each of these comes with its own unique mechanics, most of which are basic jumping puzzles, but they only take a few minutes to complete, and they reward you with a substantial amount of XP. Some of these vendors, like Varix, Nimbus, and Finch, will require you to complete certain side missions before having the ability to complete their weekly bounties. But these vendors also have their own rank up rewards, which can be very beneficial to those still trying to level up. Each week at Weekly Reset, I find it best to pick up all of the XP++ bounties between all 3 characters. Knock out all of these bounties on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then the rest of the week you'll be free to fill up on those XP+ and the standard XP bounties, and odds are these are all going to get done passively as you're completing those seasonal and weekly challenges, allowing you to burn through a ton of these bounties and collect yourself a ton of XP in the process. Most seasonal and weekly challenges are going to require a good amount of time and effort, but when they provide 50,000 points of experience or more, it's well worth it in my opinion, even if it means jumping into some silly matches of Team Scorch or Gambit. And with that, I think we've now covered just about every damn thing that you need to know about maximizing your efforts and reducing your time investment when farming out bounties in Destiny 2. If you have any additional tips towards completing bounties, or if you have any issues with any of these bounties, be sure to let us know in the comments down below. Thank you as always for checking out today's video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and both really do help support the channel. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.